Now, would you like to have lunch on the Titanic? If you have the money, you can. For those who have, it seems being a millionaire isn't enough. When they made their money, they had to decide whether to stick around and make more, retire, or come up with a whole new lifestyle. Jackie Quist's been meeting them.
The Iceman and the Thrillionaire.
And the next thing, bang!
Peter Bland and Nik Halik, cashed-up adventurers also known as Thrillionaires, adrenaline junkies who can't get enough expensive and death-defying experiences.
My first big adventure was, in 2003 I actually enrolled in the Russian orbital space program with my main objective of going to space, and I managed to achieve that.
At 38, Nik Halik has never had a conventional job, instead making a fortune through property and the share market. Now travelling the world 8 months every year, delivering wealth creation seminars. The rest of the time, indulging in adventure.
And being in a position to, block out the earth with your thumb, I mean, that's the coolest thing ever.
At 38, Peter Bland is a kindred spirit. He's a father, a farmer and a sailor, and every bit addicted to thrill-seeking.
When we first met, I'm thinking, hey, you're crazy too.
It's not so much the poles itself, but the fact that I said I was going to do it.
Peter Bland defied temperatures of up to -60 degrees Celsius to sail to the South Pole and trek 700 kilometres to the North Pole from northwest Canada.
I was very fortunate later in life to actually carry Sir Douglas Mawson's flag, who was the first Australian to the South Magnetic Pole in 1908, and I was the first Australian to the North Magnetic Pole in 1998.
Oh, how sweet it is.
From champagne and blizzards to lunch aboard the Titanic.
And it was just the most immortalised ship in history, and I've always been fascinated by the Titanic. And it was just, truly an amazing, surreal experience. Lunch on the Mir. We're basically parked on the bridge. 2005, I went down 5 kilometres deep in a submersible, in a Russian submersible, and that was probably the most surreal experience thus far. I saw the whole bow, the stern looks like it's gone through a food processor, and the entire debris field. But it was a very, very emotional trip. It was a time capsule of our past.
It's expensive and it's risky, but Nik and Peter say they're proof anyone can do anything.
We've also been plagued by illnesses too, in our childhood.
Nik had his chronic asthma as a child and short-sightedness and all the rest of it, and I had open-heart surgery when I was 8 years old. I just vowed that I was going to be anything but ordinary.
Peter cheated death on his trip to the South Pole after he leapt into freezing water to cut loose a rope entangled on his yacht's propeller.
I didn't realise that 8 months later on, I'd be stricken with a thoracic aneurysm, a dilation of your aorta. So my aorta basically was on the verge of bursting.
Of course, that didn't stop him conquering the North Pole, while his mate Nik was busy climbing the world's tallest peaks and chasing cyclones.
Look at the house! The house is coming apart! Oh my God! Oh my God! Did you see that?
But there's no resting on laurels around here. Nik and Peter have now teamed up, and the intrepid duo will escort an icebreaker load of passengers to Antarctica at the end of the year. Along the way, they'll merge ice climbing and kayaking with wealth creation strategies and leadership skills.
I would flippantly say, Nik teaches you how to make money and I teach you how to spend it.
And on the subject of money, what has all this cost? Fair to say it's well into the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Of course, when you're a Thrillionaire, what does it matter?
I am the Iceman. I'm an adventurer with a message.
I've been able to build a very solid foundation to be able to forward anything the world has to throw at me.
From the Delta, down on the river.
Go, Don.
We need some heart and soul.